And we're back. Thanks, as always, to Thomas for sharing his homebrew expertise with us. Moving on, today's pairing is La Fin du Monde from Unibrew out of Quebec. Fuck it, it's from Canada. We're pairing that delicious brew with The World's End from 2013. Not to be confused with This Is the End, also from 2013. To be clear, our movie is not the one where Danny McBride uses Channing Tatum as his sex slave while wearing a human skull like a crown. It's not that one. No, The World's End is the one where a bunch of very funny Brits battle alien robots during an epic pub crawl. You remember earlier when I said, it's not the end of the world, and then said it would have been a great segue? Not the end of the world, La Fin du Monde, and The World's End. Man, that would have been so cool if it had lined up right. Anyway, Unibrew has been making stellar Belgian-style beers since the early 1990s. No other Canadian brewery has won more awards than them, and none of their beers have won more awards than La Fin du Monde. It is a less bitter triple, with more of a focus on spicy flavors, mainly coriander and orange peel. It is really closer to a triple Carmelite than a more traditional Chimay or Westmalle version. The Unibrew website lists the IBUs at just 19, which is a C hair under the official range for the style. So, it's a unique take on the style, not necessarily a carbon copy. And that's what you get from most Edgar Wright movies, too. They pay tribute to what came before them, but they don't simply regurgitate scenes from other movies. Wright pays homage, and he does so by taking something he loves from another movie, be it a camera move, a line of dialogue, a distinct prop, and he recreates it organically in his own work. It's similar to what Tarantino does, but I think Wright's way is more subtle. Oh, there's that word again. Yeah, subtlety is not really Tarantino's strong suit. Wright's directing style, it never seems hacky or derivative though. He never seems to be ripping anyone off. He's always putting his own spin on things, and his own sensibilities are so unique, and he's so full of enormous creative energy that nothing he does seems half-assed. It doesn't matter if he's cracking zombie skulls or lampooning action movies, he is fully committed. The World's End is the third film in Wright's Cornetto trilogy, following Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. It is actually called the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy, which is a reference to Krzysztof Kieslowski's Three Colors trilogy that I referenced back at the beginning of this podcast, proving without a shadow of a doubt that I'm just as cool as Edgar Wright. And The World's End is a fitting end to the trilogy. It is more adult, more melancholy than the other two. It deals with some heavy issues like substance abuse and loss. And it features the end of the world, which I don't think is a spoiler. I mean, it's right there in the title, but that's pretty conclusive. If you've never seen the movie, it focuses on a group of childhood friends who are reluctantly drawn back together as adults by their de facto leader, Gary, played by Simon Pegg. He convinces them to go on a pub crawl through their hometown, a pub crawl that they failed to finish in their youth called the Golden Mile. As the night goes on, they come to realize that the town has been taken over by aliens, body snatcher style. Drunk chaos ensues, and what starts off as an attempt to relive the glory of the past turns into a fight for the future of humanity. Man, I should write movie taglines professionally. Someone give me that job, please. Now, this movie is a great one to pair with a triple. It's especially great that there's a triple out there called La Fin du Monde to pair it with. Oh, wait, should I? You know that La Fin du Monde is French for the end of the world, right? Was that not clear? I guess I should have mentioned that a long time ago. Oh well. C'est la vie. Sorry. But The World's End is great to pair with a triple because it is a complex movie that is still easy to digest. It is thoroughly entertaining, and if you want to, you can just enjoy it once and move on with your life. But if you like to analyze movies, or if you watch movies multiple times, this one will keep rewarding you with more insight at every viewing. It is very funny, but it also has a lot of sadness in it. Gary King is a tragic figure wrapped in a goofy package. The movie gives you lots of complex emotional scenes, then punctuates them with goofball humor. It's not just one flavor. It's a wide range of flavors working together to create a complex whole. And that's exactly what a Belgian Tripel is. The World's End and La Fin du Monde are both examples of masters of their respective crafts, crushing it in every way, which is why they make such an excellent pairing. And all the main characters in the movie get progressively drunker, which is exactly what will happen to you if you drink La Fin du Monde while watching him. So, Yeah, that's another one in the books. 4 episodes in, and I think I'm starting to get the hang of this. It's fun to go through beer styles like this. It's a lot more fun than studying the BJCP guidelines with flashcards, trying to memorize stats. Not that studying beer styles is particularly difficult. You still get to drink beer and call it a study tool. That's alright. And if you're just listening casually, just because you like the sound of my voice, I hope you're getting some useful information out of it too. If nothing else, you'll get some solid movie recommendations. As I mentioned at the top, you can reach out to me via social media at Beer Blockbuster and tell me what you think of the show. I should also point out that you can rate the show and subscribe on your podcasting app of choice. If you want to leave a review, well, I wouldn't mind that either. You could also use the antiquated method of speaking to another human being in person, face to face, and tell them to listen to the show. Especially if you think that person would hate the show enough to leave me an angry review. I've said it before, but to reiterate, I love negative feedback. The more hate-filled, the better. Few things bring me as much joy as reading a really scathing review of something and picturing the person who wrote it. Because reviews like that rarely feature any well-thought-out criticisms. It's mostly just blind rage. I usually picture, just flop sweat and indignant fury, with the plump, sweaty sausage fingers really wailing on their keyboards, pumping their bile into the world. I don't know, that's funny to me. Feudal outrage, it's funny. But I would prefer to get those on Twitter, not on the podcasting app. Everything in its right place. And I guess that's it for me. Thank you again for listening to Beer Barrels and Blockbusters. I'll be back soon with another fun and exciting beer breakdown. I'm thinking about doing a more obscure style, but I'm not sure yet. Something like an Eisbach or a Rauch beer or something. I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure something out. We'll also be doing some more movie rankings before too long, so stay tuned for that. Until then, good night, you fucking nerds.